Tom Cruise is one of the most hated people of all time. His behavior in public is often completely inappropriate. He regularly belittles and criticizes his fellow actors.
Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs.
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem.
In fact, he was even awarded the Golden Raspberry for the most tiresome tabloid target of the year 2005. But why is this the case? I mean, shouldn't he be liked? He has been involved in children's charities for years, donates money to cancer research, and is one of the highest paid actors of all time. His films consistently break box office records, and his charismatic demeanor polarizes the masses. Additionally, he is known for performing daring stunts that no other actor would dare to attempt. He behaves as if he is immortal, and that's exactly what Tom Cruise believes. For years, Tom Cruise has been a member of the controversial Scientology organization and has worked his way to the top through years of dedication. So what about this church that even managed to win over the most famous Hollywood stars to their side? How can Scientology still be so relevant and constantly gaining members despite controversies and scandals? And what does Tom Cruise have to do with the disappearance of Shelley Miscavige? To understand this, we need to look at the whole picture. This brings us to a small single-family home in Syracuse, New York, where Tom Cruise lived with his 3 siblings and both parents. But not for long, as his parents separated when he was 6 years old, and from then on, the horror began for the young Tom Cruise. After his parents divorced, he moved around a lot with his mother and sisters. He attended 15 different schools in 12 years, often feeling like an outsider and struggling to fit in. His passion was acting and wrestling. However, after a knee injury, he had to give up wrestling. So he turned his full attention to acting, and after a few small roles, he landed his breakout role in the movie Risky Business. The film was a huge success and launched Tom Cruise into the spotlight. He became known for his good looks, charm, and impressive acting skills. And from now on, he went on to star in some of the biggest blockbusters of the 80s and 90s, cementing his status as one of the world's biggest movie stars. But even as Tom Cruise's career soared, he was searching for something more. He had always been interested in spirituality and self-improvement. And in the early 90s, he found what he was looking for: Scientology. According to Scientology, our bodies are merely vessels, and we are actually spiritual beings with the ability to make our dreams come true. But sometimes, the negative experiences from our past lives can hold us back in our present life. That's where Scientology comes in, offering processes to clear out these engrams and help us reach our full potential. And if you become a Scientologist, you become part of a select group who hold the keys to saving not just the planet, but even the entire galaxy. This is just fascinating. It almost sounds like something out of a science fiction novel. Well, in this case, it is exactly like this. The founder of Scientology, Ron L. Hubbard, was a passionate science fiction writer before he established the sect. As his book Dianetics proved to be a huge success, Hubbard came up with the idea of turning it into a whole belief system, which he managed to do. In the end, the founder of the sect took a fictional story and sold it as a religion. But this was not the first time Hubbard had tried to build something through lies. Looking back at his career, it is evident that Hubbard was a brazen liar from the very beginning. It was 1950, and L. Ron Hubbard had just resigned from his position in the Navy. He had been boasting to everyone who would listen about his bravery in saving his ship from Japanese submarines, and even claimed to have received a Purple Heart and other medals for his service. However, his stories were soon debunked by U.S. Navy investigators who found no evidence of any Japanese submarines during his time of service. Hubbard continued on and used his manipulative tactics to gain followers for his newly founded religious organization. His only goal was to make a large profit, and for him, getting his hands on it was a piece of cake. With his organization, Hubbard promised people an eternal life without any problems, and all they had to do was pay him. However, his life ended before the ultimate success could come, as Hubbard passed away in 1986 due to a stroke. As fate would have it, in the same year, a young actor named Tom Cruise joined the cult. He was introduced to it by his then-wife Mimi Rogers, who was already a member. From then on, Cruise was used as an ambassador of the organization due to his enormous fame. His public appearances became increasingly bizarre. Whether he was making disturbing promotional videos for Scientology, acting strangely in interviews, or publicly criticizing fellow actors, the higher his position in Scientology, the further he distanced himself from his flawless image as a charismatic Hollywood star. His popularity in the public eye hit an all-time low, with newspapers, news outlets, and social media labeling Tom Cruise as an unpleasant and self-absorbed person, but he remained oblivious to it all. As he became more unpopular in the public eye, he rose higher in the church, eventually being appointed as the third highest member of the organization, and even referred to as a messiah by the current leader of the organization, David Miscavige. But David Miscavige doesn't consider Tom Cruise as a Jesus figure of their religion without reason. From the beginning, Tom was a strong supporter of Miscavige's views, and always defended and praised him in public appearances. The question we must ask ourselves is, does this man really reflect what Tom Cruise claims? The man responsible for destroying many families, verbal and physical attacks, and even holding his own family members as prisoners. This doesn't sound like someone who was described by Tom Cruise as a loving and compassionate leader. It sounds more like a ruthless, cold-blooded sociopath who doesn't even hesitate to kidnap his own wife. She has been missing for over 15 years and was last seen in 2005 at her husband's side during Tom Cruise's wedding, and then she vanished without a trace. Many people speculate that she is dead or being held captive by David in the mountains of Los Angeles. It's believed that Shelley is being punished because she defied David by using a new system with his staff while he was out of town. It is unclear what Tom Cruise knows about this or how he is involved. But one thing is certain. Tom Cruise is very likely privy to many such events, and much worse than you may have thought. As we come to the end of this video, it's clear that the Church of Scientology is shrouded in mystery and fear. However, it's understandable why someone like Tom Cruise would be drawn to the promises of purpose and a better life that the sect offers. While he may not be an idiot, he does seem quite naive in his involvement. It's important to approach these kinds of things with caution and to think critically before getting involved. So, what are your thoughts on this topic? Can you understand Tom Cruise's perspective, or do you think he is just crazy and blinded by his ego? Let us know in the comments below.